Hi everyone, welcome to the YouTube hop for the Mercy Tiara Summer Challenge. I am going to be taking this card sketch and I'm going to be making it into a double page layout this time. The last few YouTube hops for this challenge, I have taken a card sketch and made it into a single page layout, but I decided this one, I got really inspired when I saw that large scallop around it. I got inspired to do a double page layout, and I pretty much knew already. I actually already had this collection sitting out on my desk. If you are a follower of mine anyway, you know I've been complaining about how messy my desk is, so I wanted to get some of these pictures scrapbooks so I could get this kit put away. I believe that I am finally done with this kit for now. I can't remember if I have another video to go up of it or not, but anyways, I just went to my Cricut and I looked for I'm sure there's more cut files that have that scalloped square. This one I believe came from the Close to My Heart cartridge called Art Booking. It was the only one that I could really find that I knew that I owned, and so I wasn't really originally intending on having like the doily-ish type look with all the holes, but it was the closest one I could find with the scallops, and so I don't mind how it looks. I think it's actually really pretty, so I decided to go ahead and try it. And I did try to keep the sketch up in the top right hand corner. It does get moved after a while. It is kind of hard to keep them all in screen. I am still working on trying to figure out how to add the sketch onto the video. I don't know where I'd put it where it would be out of the way. So leave me a comment and let me know. Oh, my computer's doing something. Hang on. Leave me a comment below and let me know if you care if the sketch is on the screen the whole time or not, or how you think I should work that. I would love to know. But anyways, so I just cut the two of these pattern papers out with my Cricut, and they basically, I think I cut them to 11 by 11. I just picked that size. I just knew that I didn't want it to be the full 12-inch size because obviously the sketch, one thing I liked about the sketch is that main strip goes farther out to both sides of the sketch and goes further out than the scalloped edge square, if that makes sense. So I wanted to go ahead and do that, and then I cut off of the piece of pattern paper with those pattern paper strips. Originally I was just thinking the purple one, but then I decided that I really liked the one with the jelly beans, and I am scrapbooking some Easter photos. I can't remember the year, it was a few years ago, but there's 4 of these Easter photos, and it is a double page layout for only 4 photos, but they are all currently the size of 5 by 7 at this point. You can see they're very large. So I knew I wanted to take this one and cut it, and I kind of like that it's on the very right hand side, kind of going along with the sketch as well, where there's that sentiment and the large cluster. So I'm kind of keeping that in mind. After this point, I pretty much kind of go on my own because, you know, card sketches are a little bit easier. I would love to do a card with that sketch though. I might have to do that too. So it was a beautiful sketch. There was lots of fun sketches in this YouTube hop this time. So I knew I wanted to mount this photo and give it, you know, a border just to help it stand out a little more, just because I feel like it's the main focal photo because it has all 3 of my kids in it instead of just 2. So, or instead of just 1 or 2. So like I said, it was a 5 by 7. I cut it to 5 by 5, and I wanted a different colored piece of paper. So I tried the yellow and the green, but those ones just didn't work for me. But I didn't want pink and I didn't want any more purple. So I did go ahead and find this pattern paper here and hang on my cat. Sorry about that. We'll see how long this lasts with her being inside. I imagine she's going to scratch at the door now any second to get out. So I knew I wanted that photo to stand out a little more, so that is why I mounted it. And then with these other 3 photos, I'm just going to kind of fit them in. The whole time I'm trying to keep in mind, I don't want my photos to go over the edge of the scallop paper where all the little circles have been cut out. I wanted to keep them all contained inside that area. So I'm just kind of trimming them down, and I'm not really worried about that because they are 5 by 7s, but you can tell they were just taken out in the front of our house, and there's lots of like empty space in those photos that can be trimmed down. So I had a little trouble cutting that photo down because of the adhesive that was on it, but I got it figured out. So I did also decide to help this photo stand out just a little bit more. I decided that I wanted to add some foam tape behind it. So I'm just going to pop this up with some foam tape, and it really helps it stand out, and it really goes well with all the other stuff that I add to the layout in the end. So I'm just going to glue that down, and now I'm going to work on the left hand side. And so same thing with these photos. I'm going to keep pretty much the 7-inch length, but I'm trimming down the sides. Again, I want to keep it contained within the doily part of that scallop square. So I'm going to glue this photo here on the left, and then I'm going to glue this one, and whatever's left over I'm just going to trim off. So the other thing I'm kind of keeping in mind while I'm doing this is that these are all 3 of my kids, and I'm keeping it from the left to right, from youngest to oldest. So I really like how that looks. And there you can see I brought down the sketch just a little more. So it follows the sketch fairly well, and this sketch turned out to be super easy to change into a layout. So if you play along with this, please have fun with it and tag me on it. I would love to see what you guys, if you make this into a layout, what it looks like. I imagine you can do anything to make the border. If you don't have a cutting machine, you could use a scallop edge punch. You could do circles along and just make it and hide them behind another piece of paper to make it look like a bunch of scallops. Just there's all different kinds of ways that you could make the scallop edge. So actually, you know, some companies even pre-make those types of papers, although I don't see them as much anymore. But now I'm going to play with all the embellishments, and I was a little bit unsure because I thought I would have a title that says Happy Easter or Easter something, but I must have already used the word Easter. So far I have gently put down the words happy and together. So it says happy together. I wasn't really sure. I didn't really want to be too cheesy with my title, but I did kind of like the colors of that title, and I liked, I had this, love this ephemera piece on the left hand side, and it already had foam tape because I thought I was going to put it on a different layout before. So I liked the way it looked and that it pointed in, so I went ahead and just added it on. And then I figured I'm just going to stick with the happy together. The P's I made kind of go in between each of those letters of the O and the G, so the bottoms of the descenders of the P goes in between a couple of those. So it works, it goes together. It's not my favorite title in the world, but I do like it. So another couple things I added was those doodle pops. I had the doodle pop of the house there that you can see that I'm working with that cluster now. I thought it was perfect when I saw it because these are pictures of them right in front of our house, and although it doesn't really have to do with Easter or anything, it really is cute there. So I went ahead and it's just gently sitting there for right now. When I put stickers down when I'm working on my clusters, a lot of times I just gently put them down so that if I don't like them, I can easily pick them back up, and that makes it really helpful. And since I had that house doodle pop on the right hand side, I had the vase of flowers, so I decided to go ahead and add that to the left hand side you might have seen me do a moment ago, and I felt like that really went well. I just love the way that turns out over on that side, and it kind of brings all the dimension because the doodle pops have like glossiness to them and all different kinds of dimension, so that brought the dimension over to the left hand side as the same kind of dimension and things like that. So one thing I'm kind of looking for at this point in time is something that says Easter. I wanted everybody to know, even though these layouts will go in my album, you know, next to all the other Easter layouts from the same day, and it'll have the same date on there. I really wanted something that said Easter, and so there was this Easter Sunday tab, but I didn't like the space that there was between the between the Easter Sunday tab there and the picture. So I'm going to take that off and leave that to the side for a moment, and I'll come back to that one in a little while. But I've already started gluing everything down in the cluster on the left, and there was this Happy Easter sticker that was a quote bubble sticker, and it's just got a white background. You can see me. I'm peeling it up there. Because again, I wanted to add more items into this that has to do with Easter, like all these bunnies and the cute, everything like that. You can see I've added the chick to the top cluster. Again, the only thing that's glued down in the top cluster is the words happy and together. Both the bunny and the chick is not glued down, but I did decide that I really liked that Happy Easter quote bubble on the left hand side, so I put it back there. And then I saw this butterfly, and that's not necessarily Easter related, but it's spring related. Oh, I'm using both the Easter and the spring collections from this year from Doodlebug, so it's both together into one. And when I glue down butterflies, I like to add foam tape behind the wings of the butterfly. And here comes my cat. I hope he doesn't step on my laptop. Sorry. Sorry if there's noise. When I'm gluing down butterflies or flowers, I will put foam tape behind the wings and glue dots or a strong glue along the body so that it gives motion to the butterfly and a little bit more dimension. So that is what I did with the butterfly on the left-hand side. I almost always do that with butterflies. I just love the way that it looks and the dimension that it gives. So, and then you can see I did decide to go ahead and add that Easter Sunday to the right-hand cluster, but what I did was move the house up a little bit, and that helped because now there is not that gap between the picture and the Easter Sunday saying. I hope my cat is not making too much noise for you guys. Again, I apologize if he is. He's exploring. It's been so messy in here, they haven't been allowed to come up on anything and explore, and I opened my window right here, so they're very excited to be in here for once. So again, I've added a few things around. Right now I'm just adding a few of each of these flowers around to each cluster. I added the chick in the egg, just again bring in more of that Easter element. I added the bunny to the top. You guys know, if you've watched me for a while, that I absolutely love that bunny. He is probably the most adorable thing that Doodlebug has made yet. So I'm just going through all of my, I think these are called Doodlebug sprinkles. I think they call all their enamel shaped sprinkles. So I wasn't really sure, but I wanted to try this. So these are jelly bean sprinkles, and I have this row of jelly beans, and the sprinkles are just slightly larger than the ones on the pattern paper strip, but they fit and they look really cute, and it gives a little something. I felt like that whole space along underneath the photos just kind of needed something that it was a little bit too plain. And so this just kind of gives it a little something. I don't know how well you can tell in the video, but there are a couple close-up photos in the end where you can see the jelly beans along that strip. And I didn't do every one. I just kind of went random, and I also made sure not to do the same colors next to each other. So I didn't do 2 greens in a row or 2 oranges or 2 purples. So again, you can see that in the end still shot photos if you want to take a look at that. And now again, I'm just looking around. I thought about adding some of those enamel dots, but I changed my mind on those. Just trying to figure out anything else that might go on this layout that's very Eastery or colorful. One thing that's throwing me off is I don't really care for the cluster in the top right, and after I turned off the video I realized, because there's nothing up there that's added on foam tape or has any extra dimension. So when the camera was off, I did pull up that word together, and I did add foam tape behind that, so you can see that in the still photo, and that really helped finish off that cluster area. And so I liked it after that. Again, I'm adding a butterfly with the foam behind the wings on the right hand side, and that is going to be my layout. I hope you have fun. There are links below to everybody else who is joining in the hop. I'm really enjoying these challenges and these hops. Have fun playing. I hope you can play along, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great summer. Thank you.